to give you alias Maximus!
They embrace him like he's one of their own.
In 2007, Frucor entered sports drink market unsuccessfully with its V Isokinetic line. Failing dismally, the product lost the company millions in profit and hurt the public image of the brand. With much to learn and powerful marketing insight from their failed experiences, the multi-billion-dollar global company struck again with its larger-than-life Maximus sports drink. The product aimed to create a divide in the heavily duopolized sports drink industry, ambitiously trying to wedge between Gatorade and Powerade. What market research further revealed was that 63% of sports drinks were consumed outside of a sporting environment in Australia. With this deeply ironic statistic driving the company's direction, Frucor intelligently went to target the darker demographic realities of isotonic sports consumption. That was hungover 16 to 44-year-old Australian males. With its target audience firmly established, Maximus began its campaign to conquer and divide Rome. The company set an ambitious target to sell 7.5 million drinks over a 2-year period and take a market share of 10% in its category. These were Colosseum-sized ambitions. For Maximus, it was time to go big. The company knew that for Maximus to succeed, it needed to become famous. The challenge in front was to bring an unknown competitor into a highly competitive commercial arena where larger brands had a budget that could outspend Frucor 10 to 1. This meant two things. Frucor had to set out to show that the product was mentally available, making it a known and desirable product, and physically available, stocking the product in fridges across the country, persuading both retailers and consumers that Maximus was here to stay.
Is this not why you are here?
To meet these expectations, Frucor worked with creative agency Give Art Science to create a campaign that made a lot of noise. To start, they launched a 6-part TV show, Maximus Academy, that aired on Fox to engage with future customers. The idea led to almost double the amount of national stocktake in stores across the country. This was an extremely aggressive way forwards into the market, and a move that set the footing for Maximus's way forwards. Frucor's creative alliance with Give Art Science meant a strong focus on choices of media and a creative campaign that spoke directly at its target audience. At the same time, casting away the repetitive hydration information ads so often used by sports drinks companies. The campaign objectives were big, the product was big, and naturally the billboards had to follow in the same order. This meant maximum focus was placed on ad space, starting with outdoor advertisements, a series of billboards that showed the size of Maximus. The success of these outdoor ads meant that the brand awareness grew by 35%. Once the campaign received this steady amount of traction, there wasn't many media spaces in which Maximus could not be found. Frucor was aggressive in ensuring that the product was known and, most importantly, talked about, utilizing social media on top of their traditional advertising to recruit consumers and create a brand following. It is through the campaign's specific choices of media, made together by Frucor and Give Art Science, that you can see precisely where the challenges existed and how they aimed to counteract them. The central issue being that Maximus was an entirely new product, with no committed customer base, so they chose bill posters and TV ads to reach large amounts of people. Another challenge was the belief that Maximus was a product that was not necessarily needed in the sports drink choices, so they targeted an alternate need for the product, and this incentive drove the creative. Together, Frucor and the agency turned challenges into unique advantages, allowing for their creative to be disruptive and to challenge the regiment of media choices in the sports drinks industry. Taking into account the objectives that Frucor set out and the challenges that were faced that I earlier explained, I think it is clear that Maximus's birth campaign was extremely successful in achieving what it wanted. The statistics clearly show that the Maximus drink not only expanded company quota, but helped the general sports drink market growth, with Maximus securely taking hold of 24% of that market. The campaign was massively successful and redesigned the competitive commercial landscape for good. I personally believe that the success of the campaign came down to Frucor's focus on making the product available. It was distributed with serious intensity. This ensured that the promises made by the advertisements that things were going big was not just an eye-catching tagline, but a company's oath. Maximus found a unique problem within the sports drink market and revealed it to the customers. Sports drinks are not just for high-performing athletes, but for the everyday hero, the striker, the bench warmer, and the wingman. These two companies decided to tell the people what market research revealed, and in the process created a fun new product that identified with Australian males. However, while the campaign was extremely successful from a capitalist point of view, I believe that aspects of the brand's heart were sacrificed for the sake of success. It is clear from my introduction that the campaign was not without its oohs and ahs. The primary male target audience meant that the advertisements alienated entire groups of people and were at certain points verging on being insensitive.
Are you not entertained?
I simply think that the company would have benefited from a strain of advertisements that relied more heavily on wit rather than vulgarity in an attempt to broaden the company's image. I also believe that the market research-driven creative was instrumental to creating advertisements that were truthful. I think this is an important lesson to learn. When creative is being guided by fact and insight, big things can happen.